Hi friends! So today I will be sharing with you everything I colored this week from the Girl Moments coloring book by Coco Wyo. And I colored the same book every day for 5 days because I'm waiting for my new book to arrive, and that is the Girl Moments Volume 3. And I'm so excited for it. So I hope that it arrives on time next week so that I can share it with you and do a quick flip through. The first page that I colored is this cute girl on a bike with her cat. And the first color that I used is pastel violet, which I used to color her clothes. And then later, I used it to create texture on the plants. And then I also used it to create texture on the cement pavement along with my other Copic pens. And the Copic colors that I used are B60 or pale blue-gray and a little bit of grayish lavender or BV23 for the shadows on the pavement. It's also my first time to leave a lot of things white, and so for her top, I used V20 Copic pen or Wisteria for the shadows, and then later I used Grade Lavender and Parma Violet for the Prismacolor pencils. And I used the same pen and pencils for the white flowers. For the clouds, I didn't use any marker, but I only used the True Blue pencil from Prismacolor. And I decided to do that because I don't want to color the entire sky since there are no borders on this coloring page. And so instead, I used the pencil on the base of the clouds and also on the areas closer to the girl to serve as a very light background. So this is the finished page, and I really like it because I did a lot of textures on the plants, on the basket, here on the wooden box and the road. And here I also tried like a glitter effect, but instead of using a white gel pen, I used a white pencil instead. And I also like the texture that I did with the hair and the hat as well. So it was really a very playful time when I colored this page. And the next page is this one, and I didn't film or record while coloring this because I started coloring this while I was having coffee outside. I decided to use blue and orange because those are the colors that I didn't use in the previous page. I was being playful with the leaves, and I did some texture there because I know that I will be adding texture to the nest and the eggs as well. And I did a lot of layering with the textures. And for the windows, I used also red and orange here. Actually, I did a lot of mistakes on this page, which taught me a lot, but I'm glad that I was able to finish it. And the biggest mistake that I did here was with the curtains. So in the end, I colored it with acrylic pens that I have. Let me show you. So these are the only acrylic pens that I have. And I got them really cheap from a local bookstore. And so what I used to cover the curtains with are these pens. This is green. Let me show you. It's a brush pen. And this is green. I used it to cover the stars. And then this is like a cream or yellow. I used it for the curtain. And for the outlines, I first used a white Posca pen and then I used the acrylic markers. First, I covered it with the yellow and then I decided to outline it with this violet or lavender pen. And the thing with using these acrylic pens is that I wasn't able to color over it with pencils anymore. And so I just left it with like that. And for this area, this is green, but I did cover it with a lot of colored pencils because I really didn't like the first color that I tried here. But I think that the page is too dark. I wanted it to be brighter since it's a bright morning, supposedly. But it's okay. I'm really still happy with what I got. And the next page is this one. And for this page, I was really excited because I wanted to try the glowing TV effect. And I used only two markers, and that's yellow and violet. And so here's a quick video of how I used the two markers together. I really wanted to blend the markers well because I didn't want any harsh shadow lines. Instead, I want the shadows to gradually blend into the light, or the light blend into the shadows gradually. And so there, I also left the window violet, and that's the only violet thing on this page to show that this part is outside the house. And to make the window look like glass, I used a white pencil over the black lines. For the pencils, it took me really a lot of time to do the pencils, but it was very satisfying for me. And the pencils that I used for the darkest areas are indigo blue, and then going to the lighter areas, I used blue violet or violet blue, and then I used a bit of red as well. So in the areas that are closer to the light, I used red as the shadow, and then I used yellow for the lightest areas. I also used cream and white to add some highlights or to make some corrections on the coloring that I did. And I really like it. I really like how the red warmed the light in this page. And I was thinking that it's okay to use red since red is part of violet. I think that's why it worked well. So I really love this page, and I did a lot of two color marker challenges in the past weeks, and I'm preparing for a video about that. And so I hope that I get to share that soon. My tips and tricks and different kinds of two color marker challenges. And before we continue, I want to share with you a few things that I learned about coloring every day in the same book. And I noticed some advantages. Number one, coloring in the same book made it easier for me to set up, and it's even easier because I used the same set of pens. And because I was coloring from the same book, it was easy to compare my works and review my past mistakes so that I can learn from them or remind myself not to repeat those mistakes. Also, because I am coloring every day and on the same book, I have forced myself to come up with new things to try, new coloring adventures, so that I don't get bored when coloring the next page. And so the last page that I colored is this flower shop page, and I didn't film it again because I was really hesitant about this page. I didn't really like coloring a lot of things. I'm not confident with using a lot of colors on the same page. So when coloring this, I did remember to do a few things, and that is number one, I left few things white again. And this one I forgot to color, but I didn't really leave it like that. I just forgot to color the ribbon. I think it's important to have white on the page, especially when there are a lot of things going on. And for the sky, I made it like a gloomy, cloudy sky because that's the actual weather that we were having that day. And again, I used a white pencil to blur the lines and distinguish the outdoors from the indoors. But I didn't really try to make it look like glass. And when coloring, I tried to remember to keep the balance of the colors. And so the reds are here, and then the oranges, the yellows. Like there's a color, each color is represented on every area of the page. And then, of course, there's gray, which is one of the neutrals that I used, gray and then white. And I made sure that most of the colors that I use are medium or light colors. The values are medium or light. And so the only dark colors that I used were here for the window and the desk. Because here in the page of the girl with the window, my mistake here was using a lot of medium colors. That's why it appeared not so bright like this. And I should have used lighter color first and then made them darker if I needed to. And so here, I just made sure that everything was lighter. And then later on, I made them darker by adding pencil lines. Another thing about this page is that I made sure that my pencils were really sharp because I read from somewhere that it makes a difference when your pencils are sharp. And so let me show you. I made them at least like this. So I was able to do a lot of details here on the flowers there. And it was more precise, somehow more precise than what I did in this page. Because here I didn't sharpen my pencils a lot. Because at first I was thinking like it's still giving color, so I don't need to sharpen it. But no, it really makes a difference when you sharpen your pencils. And so there, that's my finished coloring page. And those are the 4 pages that I finished for the past 5 days. And so today is Friday. I'm taking a break from coloring, I think. But I know I really want to color. Maybe I'll do more pages, 2 more pages this weekend. This is the next one. And for this page, I was thinking of coloring this based on real objects in my house, or at least real objects on the internet. And so that's the next page that I'm gonna color over the weekend. And so I hope that you like this video. Let me know which page is your favorite, and let me know if you are coloring the girl moments coloring books or other girl books or books with cute girls and cute scenes. So let me know, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.